So, whenever I first found out that the new mobile R1 was IP68 dust and water resistance and that you could toss it in the water, I thought what better way to start out this review than to take it outside while it's raining, put it in a puddle, and let some water hit it. And then, after leaving it there for a minute and kind of moving it around some more, and you kind of get the picture here. It's really remarkable to have a $149 smartphone that has IP68 dust and water resistance. So I figured I'd take advantage of it. Anyway, so great thing about this phone, it's got a 5-inch screen, a 720p display. It's got a MediaTek quad-core 1.3 gigahertz processor. It has 16 gigs of internal storage, 2 gigabytes of RAM. Did I mention that it's IP68 dust and water resistance? It has dual SIM capability. It's running Android 8.1, Corning Gorilla Glass 3, and it's MIL-STD drop protection rated, which you can pretty much figure out whenever you look at this guy because it is a rugged phone and it supports 4G LTE. Now, I decided to take it in and hose it off a little bit since, I don't want all the bacteria and all the garbage from the runoff in the rain, but I wanted to take an opportunity so you can hear what it sounds like even underwater. So while I have it under the water here, I'm fixing to start the water again, you can hear the sound, and as the plate that I have it in fills up, you'll be able to tell that, yes, it still functions and it plays music and sound even underwater, which is pretty impressive. I've never really wanted to do this with the other phones that I've had, but with this one, it felt like I would be doing it an injustice if I didn't show it all. So there you have it with the underwater sound. All right, so with a little bit of a hands-on demonstration here, I want to show the phone off. Like I said, it's got the 5-inch 720p display, which is perfectly fine. It does have the rugged design on the back. It's got an 8-megapixel camera on the back with the LED flash. It's got the rear-mounted speaker, and you can tell that the casing that's built into this phone is very rugged. And you can drop this sucker from up to, I think, like 4.5 feet and not have to worry about it. You have the little capsule covers there for the USB, micro USB on the bottom. You have a dedicated camera button. Hold that down and it'll pull up the camera app so you can take a picture. The camera is a bit slow, I will warn you, but it does support HDR, which is what I was shooting in. And if you take it off HDR, the shutter should be a little bit faster, but it is a little slow in that regard. You got your volume buttons, you got your power button over there. There are no biometrics on this, so no fingerprint sensor, but it does have another cap there for the headphone jack. And then over here, you can put your SD card and your SIM card. It's a little bit unconventional. There's a pin there. So use your SIM ejector tool so you can pop the tray out. And when you pop the tray out, it doesn't come all the way out. It pops just a little bit. And then there's a notch. You see that little pin right there? You use your fingernail. You can grab the edge and pull it out. And voila. And that's where your SIM card and SD card go. And it will support up to a 32 gigabyte SD card. It's not a lot, but for 150 bucks, there's only so much you can do. One wonderful thing, though, it does have a 4,000 milliamp battery. So combined with the 720p resolution and the low power consumption processor, this will run pretty much forever. Now, I wanted to go ahead and show you some of the additional spec information on here. Adjust the brightness so we can see good. It is running the latest and greatest Android 8. Sorry, it's not the latest and greatest. It's not Android 9, but for a phone of this caliber, you can see that it is running Android 8.1, which is pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of other devices out there that aren't quite running Android 9 yet. So the fact that you can get this $150 rugged phone for 150 bucks running 8.1, you're good to go. The smart gesture there, you can double click on the power button and get to the camera, but why do that when you have a dedicated camera button? But not a whole lot. It's very bare bones. There's not really any skinning or anything at all to it. So that does help it a little bit, but it is a little bit on the slow side. I mean, it is running an older MediaTek processor, plus it only has 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is what really kills it. It is very slow to load a lot of things, but you can play some games. I did want to go ahead and load up Boom Beach because I always test that out whenever I show off some of the gaming stuff. This will not run PUBG, so do not try and play PUBG on this phone. But you can see here as I'm running through the game, it runs well enough that you can play it. Whenever you get all the troops loaded and hitting the beachhead and then trying to do some of the attacks and stuff, you will notice it does get a little on the choppy side, probably drops the frame rate down a little bit, but Otherwise, I mean, it's still playable. But the emphasis on this phone is not for games. But inevitably, anytime I test out these budget devices, people will ask me, can it play this? Can it play that? Can it play this? It'll play Boom Beach, and you can play Alto's Odyssey, and some other games that you can play comfortably. Pretty much anything that doesn't have a whole lot of animations, it doesn't require a high frame rate or anything like that. But I will go ahead and demonstrate with Alto here as well. And Alto does take quite a while to load up. So, yeah, you're just going to have to sit there and wait whenever it loads up. But once it loads up, it does run reasonably well. It doesn't really slow down a whole lot. And I have had some other phones that I've tested it on in the past that have stuttered a little bit. And this one, it seems to hold up pretty well. So you can see the sun rising animation there. It'll get to where we can hit the start button here in a second. But I know this is a little bit lengthy with regard to how long it's taking to do this stuff, but I wanted to be thorough and show off the the graphic and the video gaming capability that you have. Because of course, everybody who gets a smartphone, some people, I mean, even if this is a rugged smartphone, people will still play games on it. So I at least wanted to show this off, so anyone who's interested can see that yes, there is some casual gaming that can be done. So jump around to your heart's content, have fun with it, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. This is Alto's Alto's Odyssey. It's the latest one. So there you go. That is the gaming demonstration for the R1 phone. Now the next thing that I want to show off is a little bit of the performance. Now, like I said, the 2 gigabytes of RAM is a little bit of a limiting factor. Do not open a whole bunch of apps at once on this. Now, like I said, $150 phone, 5-inch HD 720p display, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of storage. You will probably want to use a SD card on here. I've loaded very few apps on here just because there's only so much storage space. I mean, the Android operating system takes up quite a bit of space. So, and then unfortunately it only goes up to 32 gigabytes of SD storage. But I did want to go through and show you natively what it's capable of, kind of the maneuvering between the apps, the scrolling speed, what the display looks like, and some things like that. So overall, you can use it for pretty much whatever you want for day-to-day usage, email, texting, phone calls. This is not designed to be a flagship smartphone. This is designed to be a rugged phone that is capable of doing things that you need it to do. It performs essential functions. It does have some entertainment value, but at the end of the day, what you're paying for is the rugged durability, being able to take this out. You can take it in the woods, you can do your construction job, you can go out and do some handiwork and not have to worry about messing up your phone because you have this rugged phone. And that's what you're paying for. You're getting a rugged device that is capable of keeping up with you and your lifestyle and making sure that it will make it through the day, 4,000 milliamp battery, and not get busted up. All right, so I want to go ahead and do a sound test so you can kind of get a feel for what the sound is like on the speaker that comes out of the new R1 rugged phone. So I went ahead and I found this royalty-free music, so it'll allow me to play it and not get copyright claims. So the speaker's on the back here like we talked about earlier. I'll turn it up. Hopefully you can hear that. This is on max volume. I think it's pretty affordable. I mean, for what you're getting for 150 bucks, it has pretty good sound quality overall. Yeah, I've reviewed other phones before that don't have this good of sound. It costs more money than 150 bucks. Let's try this one too. Just a little bit different sound. There we go. So that's max volume right there. And one nice thing about having a speaker on the back like that is when you hold your phone like this, it helps bounce off the phone into your hand and reflect back towards you. so I think it's enough as far as the sound test goes. All right, so last but not least, I want to go ahead and show off some of the images I was able to capture with the 8 megapixel primary shooter on here. You can see out in natural lighting, it does actually take decent pictures. Not to be fooled though, if you take it in low light or non-natural or optimum lighting, it takes some pretty terrible pictures, but it's not designed to be a, take beautiful pictures. There's a selfie there of me and my face using the 2 megapixel selfie camera on the front. I did take one inside a restaurant. It didn't work out well at all. So I did want to go ahead and share that one. But it will take semi-decent pictures if you need it to. Make sure you hold the camera still, of course, because the shutter speed is very, very slow. You can see there when the circle pops back up, it's ready again. So a good 2 to 3 second delay there in between the shutter and the capture. So be mindful of that. But if you need to take a picture of something, it will work. Just hold it still. Don't try and take pictures of moving objects and wait for it. So that's all I've got on the new mobile R1 rugged phone. I really did enjoy this device. I've never got to use a rugged phone before. It's got the IP68 dust and water resistance and all the bells and whistles for 150 bucks. So if this is something you're interested in, hopefully this has been helpful. As always, guys, if you have questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. And as always, I will see you guys next time.